typical game was I'm just kind of a little too much in the middle of the lane. Like I'm
Hmm.
positioned in the right area. Well, we've talked about that with like every VOD I've done. I'm in the right area but not tucked away.
Yep.
And this game, I felt like I did a really good job of being tucked away. And I even did
Excellent.
like a bunny hop or two. So that's why I kind of wanted to do this game to
Okay.
contrast it
I
with my
never
Elder
was in
Hollywood game.
Sure, sure. But remember,
Thank
even if you feel like that's improved in this game, you want to make sure it's a habit. You want to make sure you stick it as a habit and it's sort of part of
Right.
your autopilot before we move on too much to the next thing. If it's good,
Right.
I'm definitely going to point out the next thing and be like, hey, this is what it is. But you might not want to move on immediately because you want to hermitize, cement those
Right.
improvements to your gameplay.
Right.
Damage increased. 5, 4,
Go boost Hanzo. Yeah, there you go.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. Be careful out there.
Probably stayed on Anna a little too long with boost there. Okay, so you do this sometimes. Can Hanzo shoot anyone right now?
No.
So
But
where's it?
Roadhog can.
Roadhog can, but you might not be able to get to Roadhog. So you could try to go into Roadhog, but I'm probably not going to go into Roadhog because my team is generally retreating right now, right?
Right.
So you could like partially GA to your partway GA and then maybe you grab Roadhog. But if Roadhog's off the table, what else could you do? Like, what's your best beam target at this moment?
I don't think I could reach Ana. So maybe Sigma. I'm probably
What
Sigma.
type of beam are you going to use on Sigma?
A blue beam.
Is Sigma looking at the opponents?
But he's not, no.
Right,
But I
but
don't think I could reach Ana either, right? Like
there's a Pharah rocket near Sigma, and that gives you the general area
Right.
that Pharah is aiming at, so let's pre-heal Sigma. It's not amazing, but it's certainly
Right,
better
right.
than damage boosting Hanzo that literally can't shoot at people while he's wall climbing.
Right. Okay.
And now you can flip it back. You could have just been like, here's a tick of heals on Sigma, and then I'm going to move it right back to the Hanzo for damage boost. And that would have been easy.
Okay.
Damage amplified.
I probably don't want to be here. Like, I get what you're doing, but you'll notice what you see Mercies do a lot is they Guardian Angel up to someone and then sort of let the slow fall happen as they drift down part way, and then they Guardian Angel back up. And that's kind of what you wanted to be doing here. Because do you really want to be here when the rest of your team is backing up and is going to be more accessible to you back here? Or do
No.
you... Yeah, okay, good. Here, I'll stay off of it for just a second just to illustrate, but...
Hello? Anyone out there?
Like, I can tell that your team is backing up, and now you can't reach them, whereas if you've just been slow falling back here, you have cover options, you can go back up to your Hanzo if nothing comes up before, you know, when your Guardian Angel comes back up, you can switch targets to these guys, more flexibility. As opposed to that, which was scary.
Right.
And by scary, I mean eliminated.
A clean bill of health. Damage amplified.
Name's McCree.
You needed a doctor.
Stop the payload.
Good, mixing in the crouch.
Get you back out there.
Fine. I can handle you here. I can handle you here. But do they have it? Do you think they have anyone with control up here? You do, because you see your McCree's up there. Okay, that's fine. You've got to be deciding between do I want to play here or do I want to play here? And here makes you more vulnerable to the roof, but here makes you more vulnerable to... This is a sight line. It would suck to randomly take like a Hanzo arrow or something down here, right? So like we got a balance to be thinking about for, okay, which is better. But you saw someone got eliminated on the roof, so... And now you can see that there's a threat on the roof.
Healing. I require healing.
Who do you want? What are you doing? That was interesting. Okay.
Damage increased.
Correct. Tuck left. I'm definitely looking up, because if I look up, I can actively dodge fair rockets. I can be aware of things like that. Like I do, I don't want to like stare at the sun when I don't have to. I don't want to put myself in the middle of the lane to be able to see the action. But if I can't if the action can see me, I probably want to be able to see it. I probably want to look towards it so I can intentionally be a little more evasive. You with me?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, damage boost that nade.
Let me get you covered. Damage amplified.
It's actually good to damage boost, right?
It is. I'm just laughing. Like it is absolutely good to damage boost the nade. It's a nice AoE thing. I have no issue with damage boosting the nade. That wasn't really me making fun. Well, I'm making fun of it, but I'm making fun of it in a sense of like, we're totally gonna get a limbs in our supports versus the world situation. That's all I'm
Right.
poking fun at.
Assemble at this location.
Let me get you patched up. Damage amplified.
It's a long time to have not checked.
Yes, I did realize.
Right, like-
Mercedes looks around a lot more than me, and
Yes.
she's of course like 500 SR higher than me, maybe
Yes.
more, 600. So
Like, you look over here and it's like, hey, there's Hog just threw their hook over here. Clearly there was some sort of threat over here, and you're just like, no, I'm gonna go this way, with no cover against that and without even using your eyeballs. Okay.
Nano boost administered.
Helden sterben nicht. You need a drop. Damage boost engaged. Healing stream engaged.
And again, I kind of want to, like, I'm doing this.
Healing stream engaged.
Yeah, we are. I'm healing my McCree, no problem. McCree's rolling away. I want to know, do I Guardian Angel to my McCree right now, or do I boost my Hanzo? Which is more important right now? Did I lose you, or do you just not have an answer? Wyshik?
yeah, sorry.
Okay,
My
no problem.
internet
You good?
kind of.
Oh,
like,
it looks like you're having
stuttered
some
there.
stutter
Yes.
here. Okay, no problem, no problem. Let's give it a second. It sounds like you're coming back. Why don't you try to say something again, see if you're good.
Is this better?
Yeah,
It already
you're
looks.
great.
The stream already looks a lot better. Okay.
You're great. Fantastic. Okay, good stuff. So, how do you decide here at this moment whether you should stick with your McCree or boost your Hanzo? Because your beam's about to break, right? So you have to make a decision. Am I GAing over to McCree or am I boosting Hanzo?
I kind of felt like our McCree was the better player,
Okay.
but I mean he is in the middle of a roll. He's not really right. Is that
He's
a roll?
about to finish it, and you're getting some healing value on him. But where are the opponents?
Around where Sigma is, it looks like. Ah,
I knew that, but you didn't know that. And I don't need you to know that. And, I watched the same game you did. So, like, I was playing from Mercy's point of view until right here. So I just sort of could tell that that's where they were. But even if you don't have the game sense because you're not tracking that many players to that level, like, you're already out here. You can have looked this way. Like, while your McCree is rolling, no problem. I don't really need to see him while he's rolling while I'm healing him. I can peek. Like, again, I don't want you constantly coming out here to look at enemies, but that doesn't mean that you can never peek either type thing, right? Like, as you're
Right.
going by things, you do want to go, hey, what's going on? Because turns out, sure, healing your McCree or boosting your McCree to fight the fair is perfectly fine, totally fine. But I think if you knew that these guys were here, as soon as your McCree got to like this 70% health like this, you'd have been like, nope, I'm damage boosting the Hanzo, because I think the Hanzo is going to deal with this. Like the Hanzo A also has a sight line on that Pharah that we didn't know about, but B, there's stuff over here that you would see that you'd be like, oh, I'm boosting my Hanzo. Maybe my Hanzo can cancel this res. Maybe my Hanzo can.
Mhm.
You see where I'm going with this. So we just
Right.
want to have that information. Oh, there's something going on over there.
Engaged.
Okay.
Damage and defeat.
I'm probably not willing to walk out here. Like, is my hog really in trouble?
No, he just used take a breather.
Right. And even if he hadn't used take a breather, like he actually did a pretty high health take a breather. Like he's got amped healing on him. He's got 85, 90% health. I'm good. I'm going to boost my Hanzo, and I'm going to tuck right back in here. I have all the information I needed.
Right. Anna was right there as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Ooh, even though I don't really like the fact that Anna was there, but that's okay.
You might tuck behind the dumpster here and be ready to jump to Anna. You might go out to Anna to help her, but you're
Right.
probably not going to go out to Hog to help him. Like, you're on your own, Hog. Especially if either has or is using breather.
Ich
Yep.
kümmere mich um dich. Ich bin da. I can use some assistance. You should be at peace for God.
That should have been another instance where I probably don't go all the way up, like do a little float down.
I'm
Or
not too
actually,
worried, actually, because the Hog's a threat, in theory, if you do that. I'm actually good with going up
Right.
there with him, but why are you on Heal Beam? He's full health, and the ball is shooting at you, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I don't know if
You
this
should
is
be
just
at
a when
peak
you're doing
performance
Guardian
levels.
Angel mechanics, you continue doing what you're already doing, or when you're thinking about like Guardian Angel techs like super jumps or bunny hop, that you sort of have to be on left click because that's how your brain works. But we need to fix it if it is, because
I do think that is because I do specifically remember doing the same thing with a Torb, the
Yep.
last Hollywood game.
practice
So it does seem to be when I Guardian
Yep.
Angel, I'm used to just holding down.
practice
Sorry.
intentionally doing your techs, your super jumps and your bunny hops and all of your techs with your right click or your blue beam for a bit, so that you
Okay.
can get a little bit more flexible here. Because that's
Yeah.
probably a shot that McCree's hit while we were on our way up here that we could have had another 30% damage on. And now we want to
Right.
use our McCree to get him. Use your McCree as okay. That works too.
Let me get
You're
you
just gonna
patched
leave.
The dragon.
I was gonna say put your McCree between you and the ball, but
Damage moves engaged. Well done.
Experiment is ready. Time for a gravitic flux.
You should be at peak performance level. Let's get you back out there.
Should have been damage boosting Hog there, right?
yep. Like we look at this.
You
We
should
got
be at
nothing.
peak
We can
Sigma
damage
dropped.
boost. Right, Sigma drops, and as soon as Sigma's dropped, we're swapping to Hog with our boost.
Okay.
And we at least do hit boost immediately here.
Let's get you back out
And
there.
he's still fine. He's still got 60% health. It's a lot of health. I don't know that I'm trying to like body tackle these guys over here.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, you're just going to card, so we'll deal. Right, you see when you're looking at opponents, you can dodge things like symbols?
Let me get you patched up.
Yes.
Let me get you patched up.
Is Sigma your better hop target than Hanzo right now, or is Hanzo your better hop target?
Hanzo, because where that health pack is, there's some cover.
Right. Even if you don't know that Hanzo has or is about to Stormeo, he's still the better target. And Sigma's not actually in that much danger. Sigma's got a defensive cooldown going. So, like, we don't need to risk our life going out there. We can bunny hop past
Okay.
Hanzo, have cover, and then pick Sigma up over here if we need to. Pick Sigma up over here if we need to. Stay on Hanzo if the situation warrants it because he's Stormeoing. You get the idea.
Right. And I may have actually been able to stop Hanzo from dying. if
Oh,
I'd done
quite
that.
possibly. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Let's get you back out there.
Fine. We know what your next Guardian is.
Damage boost engaged.
I see the Zarya, but I kind of want to check back on the team. Like, it's very possible that I'm going to boost McCree from the high ground, but I hope you check on... my beam can stay on him while I check if there's something I need to go back and deal with, right?
Okay.
And then
Right.
I can catch up to him with Guardian Angel pretty easily, right?
I can already tell the title for this. Look around more, Plat Mercy.
What?
Yeah. Peak performance levels. Right beside you. Right beside
I mean, we know what
Probably
Mercedes
shouldn't
would have done,
dropped there,
right?
Well, actually, right. She would have looked around.
There would have been a peak over here as you continue. Exactly. Yes. So, probably shouldn't have dropped here. Well, you don't control whether you drop here. You're not going to stay up here without any targets, right?
Right,
Like,
because
you-
in fact, then I'd be doing nothing.
Right. Your beam doesn't reach. There's times where you'll sit above your team. If there was a platform at this height, you'd happily sit above your team and just pick who to shower with your beam of power. But your beam doesn't reach from here. So, yeah, you don't get to pick whether you drop or not.
Okay.
Okay? Into a Valk.
back in the fight. Heavy stairs.
Okay?
I'm taking care of
I'm totally willing to... Now you're too late. Okay. So,
Okay. Same problem with Valkyrie too late.
yeah, well, we look at this, and, like... So, here you are. And this is a fight where it's like, you're down one. You get your res. The fight is now even.
Right.
And you can decide, hey, we already have 2 ults going, so I'm not going to Valk because I think it's fine. That's a reasonable conclusion. You are missing your Sigma. But the longer you wait in this fight, so if you decide not to Valk, so be it. But now things, are getting a little more sketch. I'm not convinced that we've won this fight with our ults that are rolling. I don't think that happened. So I don't like that we're potentially ulting into a fight that we're behind in, that we're not massively behind. But they have their Valk going. Our positions are good enough to use Valk right now. The fight is clearly happening. Like, I'm not going to get a better chance to use Valk this fight, right?
Right.
So my options are I hold it for next fight or I use it later in this fight. Well, this situation is still plenty good enough for me to justify using it into this fight rather than holding.
Okay.
Because your hog might be weak, but he's nanoed. Like, you're probably not going to lose him while you Valk, and everyone else's health is fine.
I've got you.
Right.
And now, okay, you do this, and now it's like, oh yes, now it's a nice and healthy Valk, and everyone's got health, and I'll be able to do this. Well, your angles aren't as good anymore, so maybe it's not that amazing, though it's still fine. But also, if we wait just another instant, now we're Valking while they have the window going. And it's like, well, that's kind of annoying. Now we're going into... It's not like actually too late, but it's this situation where now it's like, we would have liked to get ahead and sort of force the bad window out of him. When people have to use ults to react to
Right.
other ults, they tend to be less powerful than proactive ults.
Heroes
Right,
never
right.
die. Powered up. Mercy in the high track scenes. Mercy in the high track scenes.
So I guess I'm okay with this, but like, why be here rather than here?
Yeah.
What are you
actually,
getting
that's
by
true.
being here? Like, by being here, I suppose there's a threat of the soldier's going to show up right here and visor you, and you're going to be like, well, that's kind of annoying, but, like, it's not any better up here. You could be, like, over here, maybe we could make an argument for it, but I'd just rather be here than here, for starters.
This might just be another case of like curiosity, wanting to have the best
Okay.
view of things.
You've got this. Let's get you back out from here.
Bad guys.
Damage increase. Damage increase.
Do I need to stare at McCree right now?
No. Could be
I
looking
can
around.
I can literally look through the wall and see how my hog's doing. I can see if there's any flank over there. I can see how close my team is. Like, these are useful bits of information. Let's channel that curiosity safely.
Okay.
I'd
That's
like
a good title.
I'd like to
Channel
know.
your curiosity safely.
Damage boost engaged. Let's get you back out there. Damage increase.
Oh boy. Yes, we do in fact want to help that. We have to help that. He will not make it out. But this needed to be like an absolute minimum distance Guardian Angel. Absolute
Right.
minimum distance, and this was way too much. It was incredibly obvious to me as you were backing up that these guys were going to come through here. So if you're backing up, your thought should be, I need to back up not just from where the fight is taking place, I also need cover about where the fight is going to take place, which means your
Okay.
backup needed to also drag you in this direction. Because you can still see your team, you can still do what you need to, and you have protection against the inevitable enemies are going to push through here and here. Because you're playing at a level of Overwatch where teams will maybe just happenstance into sometimes taking angles. Okay, maybe that's not fair. Maybe they're going to somewhat intentionally take angles where their ball comes in main and they come through here, and oh, what do you know, this protects against both of those while still giving you your target selection options.
Right.
It's about time we got moving.
Okay, no pick.
Initiating. Ready.
Damage increase.
Ready for battle.
On my tab.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Damage and
Defend objective A.
Use your heads out there. We get through this.
Okay.
you should be at peak performance level. Look, where does it hurt?
Sure. Get him out of danger. Good. You're making an effort to triage rather than full heal.
Damage increase. Damage increase.
Is high ground safe right now?
They have a diva, so
Cool.
no, I would say
Is Diva on the high ground?
no.
So
And
if
I think she just boosted as well.
Right. So if you super jump off of your hog, A, turns out you have a Hanzo you can boost who's going to do killer amounts of work from up here. B,
Right.
if Diva uses boosters to come after you, you kind of go, well, okay, Guardian Angel versus boosters, like, cool, you spent boosters. Now let me leave type thing. Now you don't love it because
Right.
it actually drags her into a good position, but like, if the Diva was up here, I wouldn't want a Guardian Angel up here. But if Diva is anywhere else, I'm just kind of like, yeah, so I'm going to take the position and make her go to the effort of clear me. Like, so what? If they have like a soldier or a Hanzo over here, maybe not. But they don't, so let's go up. And even if I don't know where their Ashe is, I'm probably willing to pop up here with a super jump. I'm at least willing to look up here to have found out that Hanzo's over here. Yes, but I'm probably willing to pop up even if I don't know it's up here, just to have my happy target selection from here rather than my target selection from back here, where spam damage that is meant for my team sort of just makes it through sometimes and hits me, right?
Right.
Hanzo. But why though? Like, what are we trying to survive for? Okay.
Yeah, all three of us should have just.
Yeah, like if you want to go, hey, I want to maybe survive for an extra instant
ultimate
because
is
it's
ready.
going to allow us to force an elimination trade and we have the shorter respawn distance, sure. But you gotta be looking actively for that. You gotta be going, okay, I don't care about healing, I'm just going to damage pierce my McCree. I'm only going to heal him if it's going to last the extra second that turns into a limb on someone else. That makes it a trade
Right.
rather than a... No. you know there's Hanzo on your team, and there's flaring blue lights on your screen now. So just like automatically, we're boosting our Hanzo. Like, oop, you'd have to actively stop yourself.
Okay.
Like you automatically boost this high noon. Again, you might think that McCree is the better player, but I would encourage you to not trust yourself too much on this judgment of who the better player is, and to instead much more heavily lean on who's in a good position or who has a good cooldown that I expect them to use.
Right. And here I should have switched to the
Hog?
hog
Yeah.
full logging.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of.
I don't know what this was about. Like, if you're gonna go, hey, I'm gonna save Anna from the blizzard, I'm probably like backing up more to try and zip through it faster and then buddy hopping. There's no way I'm like you stopped your guardian angel here. This wasn't the blizzard stopping you. You stopped your guardian angel here, which is yeah.
And I think that's another instance of what we talked about was like panic,
Yep.
just not thinking.
All good. But it's also really no sweat off your back. Like, it's wrong, so I'm going to point it out, but it's not like there's any
Right.
pressure that you got that wrong. You guys were going to lose the fight regardless, 9 out of 10 times.
I'm taking care of them. Heroes never die.
Okay. Tuck left. Damage boost. Oh, you almost missed that. Like,
I'm
this
sorry,
is
what did I
happening.
almost miss?
This is happening.
Uh-huh.
And at full speed, we can see at full speed our McCree. Like, the D.Va got flashed. The McCree is doing
okay,
that.
so he's gonna fan the hammer.
Of course he's gonna fan the hammer. Right.
And that's gonna be a ton of damage.
Right, and you just missed it, and you got Hanzo
Okay.
instead. And Hanzo's okay, but you were late to get Hanzo even for what happened there.
Right.
Well done. I'm here.
And you can be predictive in what's going to happen. Just like you're sort of tracking Storm Arrow's cooldown in your head, you're seeing when your McCree flashes someone and you expect that Fan is going to come out afterwards. You get predictive in what's going to happen. That's how we actually increase our reaction time beyond sort of our natural limits.
Okay.
Right, so that was a good example here, where you're doing this, you're boosting Kree. Now, you're probably just boosting Kree because you're generally boosting Kree here, but even if you'd been healing him, the instant that you see this flash, you would want to swap over to damage. And you do stay on
I don't have to top everyone off to 100%.
He's fanning, this is the last bit of his fan, it looks like.
Right. And he's probably
And
missing
you're-
like 10 HP there.
Right, like, no.
Against a Winston. 10
Yeah.
HP against a Winston.
Yeah, he's fine. Okay. You joining McCree for this?
Yeah,
or are you
here
backing
I'm like,
out? Sure.
do I follow McCree on this wild off angle
Sure.
or stay with the team?
Because they're gonna have trouble extracting him. This is the sort of thing where you and McCree are gonna be enough of a pain to extract that it becomes a question of, do we really have to reset? I don't think we do. Excuse me? Excuse me?
I should have dropped earlier.
No, not that. Okay, May is trying to freeze McCree. We 100% damage boost this
Body
the whole
block?
time. No, you
Okay.
can't body block it anymore.
Mercedes would have body blocked.
Okay, so
That's why. Okay.
but why would we heal this? Like, if he gets frozen, we expect he's going to lose.
Right.
Maybe we can save him. Like, maybe we body block if he gets frozen. Maybe that's what we try to body block. But we're not, like, the entirety of our pressure on May is how quickly McCree can eliminate this May. And yes, McCree's not going to eliminate this May anymore. Didn't get enough damage work done early. But I have no idea why you're caving and swapping to heals right now. Because there's no way, like, solving the situation with damage is so much easier than solving the situation with heals.
Right.
You can heal him during his roll if you want. And now, I'm not going that way. Like, was nice knowing you, McCree. Excuse me while I fade off into the distance. Just sort of do the like cool guy or cool girl drop off the back of a building thing and fall here. Like, that's what we're gonna go for. But hey,
Another potential title I'm seeing. You can greed more, Plat McCree. Plat Mercy.
The wonders of modern medicine.
yeah, we want to make sure that there's things where it's like, hey, damage is the solution to that one, and there's other things where it's like we want to make sure we're damage boosting. Even if our McCree or Hanzo is at 80% life when they're fanning, when they're storming, we definitely want to be boosting them. And you don't always struggle with this. Sometimes you are like, yes, I'm perfectly happy to heal someone to 60 and then boost, but you're a little inconsistent still.
That was not.
I don't know why you're pushing
It was
McCree
something.
anymore. So, like, here you are, and you have to make a decision. Has a plan been called? Has it been called how you guys are going to clean up this fight?
Oh no, there was no comms in this game.
Okay, that's fine. Because if you know that the plan is McCree's going to go out here on high noon, you're going to hold your Valk. But you just got your Valk, so if you don't know that that's the case, this direction with more people starts looking a little more attractive to you. But, okay.
Okay, right.
Be at peak performance level. Stop now.
Sure.
Curing the patient.
Into the into the building? Into the doorway? Okay. No, you're just like, what doorway?
Engaged.
Does this feel like where you should be? Does it? Does it? Okay.
I'm taking care.
My soul, it hurts. Hog hit something. Hog
Who's
hit.
the hook?
Yes, yes. Like, this is higher priority than fans and storms.
And I really felt like our Hog and our Kree were the best players in this game, so maybe I should have focused more on Hog as well.
Move it out.
Again, though, like, you can think about it like that if you want, but even if you just think about it as abilities and positions, you can tell what people are going to do by their positions frequently, and you can tell when Hog connects a hook. You see Storm
Right.
Arrow activate. You see flashes happen. Okay.
Bunny hop.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yep. I heard I had to hear a tag visor to
Yep.
do it, but
Heroes never die.
that was kind of that was a bad Valk.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and it's like you're already down your Hanzo, and your Hog just got hooked. He might be nanoed, but he just got hooked. This
This is
really
this is what you would call a recovery Valk, right?
Right. This is exactly what I call a recovery Valk.
Right.
And does it cost us much to lose this team fight right here?
No, not really. We still have like 2.5 minutes, so.
Not to mention our spawn is literally right here. Like we could not be
Right.
any closer to our spawn. There's no travel time.
Heroes never die.
Right.
And this may be one of those things where it's quite possible that your Sigma fluxed because you Valked. Where he went, well, shoot, now that we've invested Valk and Nano, we have to get value out of this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a Plat thing where it's like one person holds on this one.
Right. I know, I'm trying to give them a little more credit than that, but hey. Oh, okay, good, good.
I'm with you.
Oh, there's a soldier up there.
You needed a doctor? I'm with you.
I'm not going to look up. Okay, I guess you can see it. Again, though, like, I wonder if that soldier's back there type thing, but okay.
Let's get you that outfit.
I just walk into
Where does it hurt?
Right on it. Put it on my tab.
But like Crunch said, eat more fire strikes and get masters, right?
Yeah, there you go.
kidding,
There
I
you go.
know.
Where does it
Okay,
hurt?
so I'm good with this.
Right away.
Is this where I want to be?
No, I probably want to be. I would say now that I know the soldier's dead, maybe behind like RV.
I'm probably
Around
wanting to play right
yeah.
here. It's not perfect because you have spawns to deal with in both directions, but I'm probably a lot more
Right.
interested in being here than I am in being here, especially when if Cart was further up, maybe I'd be comfortable being here, but I don't really like this.
Thanks.
Okay.
Put it on my tab.
Oh, look, a storm arrow. Like, he's not hitting anything, but like a storm arrow. That should be a magnet. My beam should automatically go there. I should have to be like, no beam, no. I need to heal this critical Anna. Like,
Right.
Damage boost.
Is approaching its destination.
no res? Okay.
Well, I think just cutting down on dangerous reses. I know there's certain words you need.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
I think cutting down on dangerous reses is one of the things that helps me climb.
I agree. Cutting down on dangerous res is very
Where does
useful.
it hurt?
Right away. Thanks.
But what if there have been the right call? Just curious.
But what you actually run into here is if you choose to hit the res right this instant, you have no time to consider. But if you choose to hit the res right this instant, you can probably get away with it. You see, like, this is a hindsight moment, but some of these reses are like they're here for an instant and then they're not here after. Because who's going to punish you this second if you go for the res from where you are?
That's true. Reinhardt can't really charge me. The car's in the way.
The rest of them are
Ana
going
would
to
have
take
to
an instant.
land 3 hits on me.
Right. Which he's going to really struggle to do in time. McCree doesn't
Right.
actually have the angle. He might drop and drop roll flashbang you, but that's kind of a reach that he's going to do that. And like,
Right.
so I look at this and go, this, if you realize it this instant, yes, you can go for this res.
Okay.
If you take time to appraise like you did here, it's too late already, and now we definitely can't get the res. And it turns out we probably
Okay.
wouldn't have gotten the res because, oh no, he doesn't have flash, so we might have. But yeah, that's just like, and that's not me being like, aha, how dare you not go for this res. It's totally fine that you didn't go for this res. I just want to be like, this exists, and if your game sense is really, really good in terms of I'm tracking where all of the players are, you can instantly hit that type thing.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know why you went this way, but I believe.
Panic, I think.
Probably. My way out, though, is definitely this way. Like, I want more cover between me and the opponents that are potentially going to pursue me for staggers.
Right.
I don't know why I'd go this way, and even now, I'm probably like, my faster out is still this way than it is to run out this way, so I'm drifting left as I use my pistol. Instead, you're trying to drift backwards. Yeah?
A clean bill of health. I'm here. You should be at peak performance levels.
What do Hanzos usually do after they send their dragons out? So you're on that,
Storm
I'm
arrow.
good. They like to immediately after or immediately before dragon striking, they like to use their hop to sort of create their own angle. So like their dragon strike comes from one angle, and then they use their little puffety hop to create as much of a different angle as they can and sort of shoot from that angle. Sometimes they won't do that because they'll have used the hop to quickly put themselves on a different angle, but that's a pretty normal thing. So you should kind of, not like hard rule, but you kind of want to think about, is my Hanzo about to put himself in a good position for follow-up? And the answer to this is, well, my Hog's not doing anything. So yeah, my Hanzo looks pretty great for damage boost.
Let's get you back in the fight.
We drift into the open here for some reason, as opposed to drifting tighter around this after the res. Not sure why.
Let's get you that outward. Heroes never die.
30 seconds remaining.
Was that an acceptable, not great foul?
Heroes never die.
You've decided that this is last push by Valking here, but I'm okay with that. You've already invested the whole hog. You're not really going to
Okay.
get any great, amazing things for the next
30
push, and it's a
seconds
5v5.
remaining.
I'm going to live with it. I
Okay.
do want this to be damage boost because they're just fine. Like, these guys are just fine. It's good. It's still
Right.
just fine. I'm not sure why we toggled back to heals here. Okay.
Damage amplified.
Good. Damage boost. Damage boost. The hook. Perfect.
Scenes.
Help that some more. And now you're gonna have cover. Works for me. Great. You could have yelled at Hog to body block it for you, but that's okay. There's still not a great reason to have drifted in the open. If you wanted to drift into the open for the res, so be it, but then you'd have yelled at Hog to body block. Otherwise, you were mostly just going to play from here, because there's not really time for these guys to come up around the outside and punish you. Like, that would be extremely, like, okay, I'm doing this. Well, you guys must have 2 to 3 points people alive and in play already if you're sending someone over here, which they never did.
Okay.
Ready
Okay.
for battle. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Damage
Attackers
engaged.
incoming. Defend. 2, 1.
Damage
Attackers
engaged.
I know you think McCrew's the better player.
Defend objective
Who's
A.
in their effective range right now?
That's true. Yeah, McCree has a lot of fall off. Right.
Right.
And Hanzo shoots logs. He can always get a random headshot or body shot.
Well, he's
Or
also
spot.
fully charged this. Like, he's fully charged this first arrow at the very least. So, like, this is going to go
Right.
full strength, full speed. Like, at the very least, this first arrow. But really, you just boost him at least until these guys are halfway up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're boosting McCree during his reload. Okay, okay.
Healing stream engaged.
Sure. Time to leave.
You should be at peak performance.
Wonder if there's
level.
anyone coming through here. There's not, but I wonder. Okay. Did a diva suddenly take up here? Oh, a ball did. Maybe you caught that, but like, you know, these are things we care about.
I heard the ball.
Let's get you
Okay.
back out there.
But I should have definitely looked for where I heard him.
Yeah. Okay.
You needed a doctor?
Okay, so
Yeah, this is like the first Hollywood game where I died behind a payload.
Yeah, yeah. There's no way that's safe. Okay. Peeking that
Better,
hog a
right.
little more than you need to, but yes. You're keeping peeking the hog a little more rapidly than you need to keep your beam active.
All has arrived.
Okay.
Damage amplified.
And it was, you know, exposing you to a little more danger than I was comfortable with. Right idea here. I don't wanna be here.
Healing stream engaged.
Fine.
Right. Hog is probably fine.
Hog is probably fine, but also, again, I kinda wanna know, like, okay, where's my Anna? Is my Anna back here? Because I want to be able to turn to her instantly to Guardian Angel out. Like, I want to know, especially when I was hanging out here, I want to know immediately, where's my out so I can turn right to them to Guardian Angel out if I'm in a rough situation.
Okay.
Hog got pulled. Now we start thinking about, am I going to need to Valk? Do I need to force a charge of my Valk? Like, this is the situation where you might ease off damage boost in favor of heals just to intentionally get Valk, depending on the situation.
Okay.
And it's very specific when that situation
I'm
happens. Like,
taking
we're
care
looking
of
at
you.
this. The fight hasn't really started yet, and we're at 85% ult charge, right? So this is one of those, like, we understand, we know when Valk's optimal timing is, and we haven't passed it yet. So we could hit Valk's optimal timing, or just after, pretty reliably if we really squeeze out healing over damage here, when it's available. Damage is better if there's no healing available, but healing will build our ult charge faster than damage boost, right?
Yes.
So we could go, hey, I know what the timing for a good Valk would look like. We haven't passed it yet. I'm kind of close to it. Maybe I'm going to adjust a little bit to greed to get that so I can hit a good Valk timing and win this fight, which would then charge everyone's ult and we'd just win the next fight off everyone's ults, and that's the game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damage increase.
So, right, you could already have your, I mean, you already do basically have it, but you could have already had your Valk off of Hog right now,
Help me.
if that was your decision. Which doesn't end up mattering because you guys won otherwise, and now you have your Valk for the next push.
Let's get you back out there. Damage amplified. My ultimate is ready.
60 seconds remaining.
Ich kümmere mich um dich.
Okay, so now you're playing this last fight around having Valk because you don't trust your teammates. That was very helpful. That was less helpful. Keep them alive.
Could have Valk.
No.
Right.
There's a reason you're not Valking. The reason you're not Valking is we want to actually make this the last fight. You follow what I'm saying? Because
Right.
we're on ladder and we don't trust our teammates. And as soon as we got the elimination, it was clear we can turn this into the last fight. Even if we lost one in return, it's still going to be a 5v5, which is a fine Valk. As long as we don't lose our Rhine here. Great.
Okay.
Dragon Strike is buying us more time.
get
I
you
don't
next
trust anyone else's ult to win you the game. I trust your ult to win you the game. You follow what I'm saying? Like, maybe that would
Yes.
change if we had EMP or we had Dragon Blade or we had Grav or something or Blizzard, but like none of these ults are decisive wins that I consider like leagues better than Valk. Would you? Sorry, you cut out
no,
there.
not really.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
I suppose Earthshatter, maybe, but he doesn't have it.
Earthshatter's kind of inconsistent. Like, Earthshatter
Okay.
is not, as consistent as, what do you call it? Earthshatter can be very good, but
You should be at peak
my job
performance
now is to go, hey, we need to not lose anyone until we're in a situation we just did, which makes this a problem. And now we're probably going to have to Valk regardless. No, now we can't. Now we just lose. Okay. So, yes, we were playing, there we go, for our
level.
res,
Still need
and now we Valk.
heroes never die.
Good. You got the trade back, and you do
Almost
it.
lost. But
Almost lost, but
We-
there
yeah.
was a trade back that happened, and you got the rest.
at least get the draw.
Yep.
Let's get you back out there.
Your Ryan's fine. Back to Kree. I'll micro it. I want to throw heal beam on my. I want to throw heal beam. When people get hit by things that you know are going to be damage, you want to throw heal beam on them. This includes, hey, a
Okay.
pile driver is about to hit my team. Someone on my team is getting halted. I see the tether connected to them. Someone on my team is getting hooked. Now, you're not going to follow him in on the hook, but if he's missing any health, I want to sort of be pre-healing that, right? Because like every
Yes.
smidgen matters with this sort of thing. Like we don't constantly heal people in fear of damage, but if it's like no, he's clearly about to take more damage, let me throw a tiny bit of pre-healing on him.
Right. Okay.
Let me get you back. You should be at peak performance.
Okay. So
I was
think
tucked away more, right?
you were. You absolutely were. That was much improved. I very much liked the tuck away. I liked the bunny hop that you called out of like, yes, bunny hop past it. You did a few other bunny hops. It was good. It was good. So I'm good with that. Obviously, there's two main places I'd go from here, and you know them. So why don't you tell me what they are?
Look around.
Elaborate on that a little more, because look around is just kind of generic, and I know what you mean, and I think you know what I mean, but
Hmm.
give me more.
Well, like kind of like at the beginning of this round when I
Mhm.
kind of went up towards Hog, and you
Mhm.
said like, think about where Anna is, right? It's like if I knew Hog was in Anna's line of sight, I wouldn't have even bothered going to Hog.
Yeah, that's true.
And
You wouldn't
yeah,
have bothered
like
going to Hog, and you also might have shifted your positioning to use Anna as a faster out. Like if Anna is here, she's a kind of slow out if you're standing here. You might actually go, I'm going to go stand here. You wouldn't, because you wouldn't go up this far in the first place, but you might intentionally create more distance to make her a faster out. But you also want to be able to pan your camera to her faster, and your panning your camera to her is different if she's here versus over there versus up there versus over there, right? Like you don't have time
right.
to find her when you get in trouble. Continue.
And I think well, you know what? Actually, no. I definitely had a problem with it in general, but uh, okay, I felt like Hog and Kree were clearly the best players on this team,
Mhm.
so that's why I think I handled a little bit too hard on Kree and missed out on like you said, a Hog, like a few Hog hooks. I did
Mhm.
hook like the last one on like the end of the second round,
Right.
but like there were still like two hooks I could have
Mhm.
boosted. And like two storm arrows you pointed out because I was like, oh, this Kree's really good. I should just keep this blue beam
Mhm.
on him. But it's like even a mediocre Hanzo storm arrows is probably going to be better than a good Kree's like normal shots.
Right.
You
Like
have to
unless
right,
you've really identified that this Kree is like smurfing 800, 1000, 1200 SR, a storm arrowing Hanzo is probably better than whatever your Kree's doing. Probably,
right.
right? Yeah.
And in one of those times you were right. Like one of the times he was like even reloading. So it's like
Right.
what right.
You got it. Okay. So yeah, that's basically where we're going to go. The thing is we want you to be using your camera more, to be panning, to use that curiosity safely. Like, hey, while you're here, you can check where your Anna is. You can check, hey, how's that high ground doing? Hey, you can check, I actually would like you to look up a little bit more in general, check out some of these high grounds, because those are flank routes that I want you to be a little bit more aware of, as well as possible perches for you, as well as possible, off angles that opponents have, as well as possible off angles that your Hanzo has, etc. So like I want a little bit more attention to um, hey, let's look around when we're behind this cover. It doesn't have to be like I'm constantly 100% of the time looking around, but, we can start it off at once every 6 seconds or once every 4 seconds. I'm going to look somewhere else. Maybe I'm going to check where my
Okay.
other support is. Maybe I'm going to check a flank. Maybe I'm going to check something. But once every 6 to 4 seconds, let's do that. And obviously, that's not a hard rule. You can get more frequent than that. You can get less frequent because, hey, there's a lot that I'm doing in terms of my beam selection, in terms of I'm picking a storm arrow here, then a hook here, then I'm triaging my Rhine here, then I'm back over here. Like, okay, and it's just been really active, but you'll find windows that are not very active with your beam management, and the opportunity cost of I'm looking away to figure out where something else, you can tell when you're likely to miss out on something by looking away and when you aren't. Like, it's not perfect, but the opportunity cost versus payoff generally makes it worth it to look away every few seconds and check something else out, right?
Right.
So that's the first thing that we're going to give you. Yes, I would say the second thing that we'd give you is you're missing out on too many what we would call preferred damage boost opportunities. And part of that, I think, is coming from your, hey, I've identified that this player is good, which I'm not saying that the player was bad. I'm not saying that. But again, unless you're like, this player is hard smurfing, or I know this player is hard smurfing, I'm grouped with them, whatever,
Hmm.
you're really going to be better off not relying too hard on that, because most people are functioning on a bit of a variance. So they might be doing pretty darn well for a bit,
Oh
and
yeah.
then they might get
Oh,
cold. Exactly.
right. I absolutely see that all the time in Plat. Yeah.
Exactly. And you want to be real careful about, I'm boosting the Kree because he looks great, and you then just sort of stick to boosting the Kree because he was doing well early, and he starts to cool off a bit, whereas your
Yes.
Hanzo had a bad beginning and got better. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but it's really easy for that sort of thing to happen, and it's also
Right.
kind of an excuse to turn your brain off, to be like, well, this person is playing well, so I'll do it. Well, I don't care about winning this game. I want to win all the games. I want to win all the
Right.
future games. And that means continuing to build up. Hey, Storm Arrow should be off cooldown. Where's my Hanzo? Oh, Hook should be available. Where's Hog? Oh, there's Hog. I can't get to that one. I guess I'm gonna keep boosting McCree.
Right.
Oh wait, I saw Tracer went that way. Tracer should be getting to Anna in about 4 seconds. I can boost a bit longer. Oh, and now Tracer's gonna show up on Anna, and I'm already here. And Tracer's gonna be like, wait, what? Like that's what you want to be doing. And if you let yourself do this is a better player than the others, it's really easy not to do that. So to get the priority
Right.
stuff, like getting the priority stuff is the key here, I'd say. But I'm sort of saying as a side note, as an asterisk with that, be really careful about judging that a player is better and having that be heavily influenced in your thing. You're much more interested in enemy and friendly positioning and enemy and friendly cooldown and ult status for determining your targeting with your beam than you are player skill.
Right. Okay.
Okay. With that in mind, do you have any questions, general, specific, anything of the sort?
Somewhat general, but still related to Mercy.
Sure.
So yesterday's stream, you said that like one of the when people were discussing unranked to GM, you said one of the proper ways to climb as Mercy to really get her to GM is you have to be a fight planner. You
I did
have
not
to
say
be
that.
an ultra.
I did not say that. So what
Okay.
you're
I
talking
probably
about,
misread it. Okay,
all
misread
good,
it.
all
Okay.
good. What I was referring to is if you're going from a bronze to GM type thing, in those
Yes.
bronze games as Mercy, you are, Mercy is heavily about let me extract the absolute maximum value out of my team, and you will unfortunately have some situations where your team is just not giving you good enough opportunities. Like even if you're picking the best person at every moment to boost or heal, it's not enough because you're unlocking their hidden potential and there just wasn't very much hidden potential there.
Right.
So what you have to do is you have to do more than that. And there's two
Okay.
ways if you're a GM player in bronze to do more than unlock everyone's hidden potential at the exact amount right time to win a higher percentage of games, because you go, I don't want to be stuck in bronze at a 60% win rate. I want to get out of here quick with an 80 and 90% win rate. I don't want to be stuck in bronze with a 55% win rate. Like they'll do it. They'll get out if they are always boosting and healing the right person, but that gets easier and easier, the boost and healing thing. Not necessarily finding the right person, but if you're finding the right person, that makes more and more difference the higher you go. You with me so far?
Okay.
So
Yes.
what I was saying is some people will just go, I'm just going to use pistol mechanics to get to diamond, because you can do that. You can just use pistol mechanics to get to diamond, and then, hey, the game is in a recognizable format to GM players in diamond, and they just go, cool, I know
Right.
how to play this game, and I do it. The other option is to hard shot call. Because if you hard shot call and go like not micro every single player, but if you do the enemies are very likely to use this ult in the next fight, and they do.
Right.
Oh wow. We should go in with this ult, and if we don't win, use this ult. Oh wow. That looks pretty well. Okay, their Tracer is going to look to cancel this fight with a pulse bomb. Okay, that's not going to happen in bronze, but when you start taking over a game with comms like that, you get into a situation where you do pretty watered down versions of it in bronze, but you can apply more impact to a game in bronze because you sort of get to extend your GM level game sense, or a watered down version of it, to the
Okay.
entire
Okay.
team.
Yes. So that is something that wouldn't even apply to me because I don't have above plat game sense. Like I'm plat for a reason.
Right.
Right.
Like you can do it. You can still fight plan. You can still do that. That's a useful skill. You can still ult track. That's a useful skill. But that's what I'm referring to, where I would prefer in most cases that they carry their low level games like that as opposed to with their blaster, because at least they're
Right.
showing that it can be done without just like having better mechanics. Even though it's, yes, they're doing it by having much better game sense and sharing that game sense, that's something that I'd prefer they do to demonstrate to people that the game was winnable without just you see where I'm going, I think.
Of course. You're right. Instead of just battle mercying. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions, concerns? That was a good one.
No, yeah, that was a good one. I felt like I improved this game, so I'm happy to hear you see it as well. So
Yeah.
that's
Good
about it.
stuff. Okay. Then we're